Okay, so we're live on YouTube. Let me make sure we're actually live on both places. Okay, so we are live on EB-5 group. Fantastic. All right, so we can get the webinar started, Chuck.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another webinar in the sponsored webinar by Growth Axle. I have Chuck Kakani, I have Mahavir Jain, and also Yukti Jain. This is our second session about EB-5 webinar, and we are going to be talking specifically about urban TEA project based out of New York. And Chuck and Mahavir and Yukti are part of the project, and they'll be explaining about the EB-5 process and their project. If you attended last week's session, if you have any follow-up questions, please do let us know. And we will go through our typical slides that we have to present, and then we'll answer any reader's question. If you are watching this live, either on YouTube or on multiple Facebook groups, you can post your questions on the respective platform, and we'll be able to answer that for you. Hello, Chuck, Mahavir, and Yukti. Welcome back. How are you all doing?
Very good, Raghu. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. We are doing great. Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Awesome, Chuck. Welcome back for another episode. Let me share the screen, and then we can get going from there. All right. So take it up, Chuck. It's you.
All right. Thank you, Raghu. Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Good to see you all. My name is Chuck Kakani, and Raghu and our group has been, we have a very solid working relationship for many, many years beyond this particular project. So very happy to be here on this webinar to talk to you all. And today, this is a confidential investor discussion. And I want to immediately say one point about this. And I'll repeat this throughout, okay? New3, this project is already built and about to open doors for business. So this is not a conceptual project. This is execution. We are discussing an operational business, not an empty plot of land. Okay, next one, please. So this is your typical disclaimer, standard disclaimer. But today afternoon, we'll focus on the facts, okay? Real operating business that's days away from revenue. So one thing I want to emphasize is facts over marketing, execution over promises, okay? So next one, please. So now here you see a little bit of background about this project that you have. And this is a consumer convenience brand built on proven lines of business. Okay, we are launching this pilot in Jamaica, which is about to open. So this isn't a plan. It's an opening. It's like few weeks from opening. So one of the things about this is this is a groundbreaking consumer brand that revolutionizes convenience. It's a essential, profitable, proven business. All these four businesses under one roof, right? You see this here: market, cafe, car wash, EV charging, and express auto service. So this is a strategic pilot location in Jamaica, New York, and we plan to launch more locations in New York and Texas with proven operating teams. Next one, please. So as you know, if you see here, the ingredients we have here for this business, these are not speculative. These are all proven. We have designed the experience. We have built the automation into this model, right? For EB-5, if you notice, execution beats novelty, right? These are tested through market research before selecting the location and format. It's first to markets, one of its kind, beautifully designed. It's an irresistible stop for neighborhood residents and traffic coming through. It's authentic, designed with input from experts, from proven experts in this field, and where we use automation, right? The superior tech, touchless car wash, intelligent auto diagnostics, and integrated customer experience. So next one, please. So one of the things, of course, this is our leadership profile. I'm one of those four people. My other board member, Mahavir Jain, is here. So we are two of the board members on this webinar, and we have two more board members. And I want to say this is not about a resume, even though there are some credentials there and all that stuff. It's about execution and exits, right? Collectively, our board, this team, this leadership team, participated in exits close to $1 billion to date. So multiple board members, including me, have had past successful EB-5 raises before. And so the point is we're not learning on your capital, okay? We are already experienced team in this. So one of the things is this board is built for execution. This team has seen scale and this team has seen exits. So EB-5 isn't a new territory for us. So that's the important points I want you to take away from this experienced board. Next one, please. So now here you see our flagship location. So like I said before, this is a real physical finished location. We are 3 miles from JFK, visibility plus transit traffic, and it's designed to be irresistible stop. Again, we are very close to opening in 3 weeks to 4 weeks. And one of the things I want to mention about this is the prime spot with maximum visibility and traffic, right? This is strategically located so close to John F. Kennedy Airport. And this intersection has 18,000 plus cars daily going through. Think about that. That's like Las Vegas Boulevard, okay? Think of Las Vegas in New York, right? Business wise. Clean restrooms, ample parking, EV superchargers, and very experienced customer friendly staff. That's one of our highlights. Next one, please. So if we go to, you see some pictures here. So this is not a rendering. Construction is complete. We are at the launch line. And this is a real asset you can stand inside. In fact, we welcome you to stand inside it. Come down to New York, see the location. If you're interested in moving forward and you're close to making your decision, we are not years away like most projects. We are weeks away, days away from getting started. Next one, please. So if you see this location, the cleanliness of this, we are build a consumer environment that people actually want to enter, want to stay, want to spend more time, of course, and more money there, right, inside. So we build this to feel premium, clean, and easy. Right? Convenience is emotional, as you know. People return to places that feel right, not like some hustle bustle looking car washes and auto care that you see all around in this area in New York. So that's the beauty of it. Next one, please. So if you go back a little bit, yeah, keep on this slide. One of the comparisons I always give people is the Buc-ee's. I don't know if you know the brand Buc-ee's. We are from Texas. Buc-ee's is a beautiful brand. Lot of functional business units under one roof. Clean restrooms. People feel great actually to stop there on the highway stops, right? And Buc-ee's wins because it's clean, bright, unusually well run, right? And U3 is built with that standard. That's a good analogy, actually. Cleanliness, order, service. That's what operational maturity looks like, right? So from I have to stop when people think that I want to stop, think Buc-ee's, right? When you're driving on the highway, if you ever seen that. And so we are actually selling trust, not just transactions. That's the bottom line of this. So we beat our competitors, which are fragmented mom and shop operators, right? In this space. So that's what it is. And if you see this, most competitors, like I mentioned here, are mom and pop operators, inconsistent service, right? And we win on convenience, experience, and technology. And EB-5 actually favors structure and documentation, right? Like this. So I always say this market is ripe for institutional operators, professional operators, right? That's who we are. And their products, when somebody's mom and pop, they're more expensive, inconvenient, time consuming. The staff is rotating always, right? Little customer service, old technologies or no technologies sometimes. And so here is institutional execution, right? That's what we bring to the table. Next one, please. So the phase one of this project, Jamaica, we prove it at scale with excellence. Then disciplined expansion. We are not like about crazy expansion, but very disciplined expansion. New York City plus Texas. And today, it's not about hype expansion, right? It's about pilot that's about to open. I keep mentioning that all through. So rollout Jamaica, New York project, start build for New York plus Dallas, Houston, locations and including franchise model that we'll get to, and disciplined scale, not reckless, ambitious expansion. Okay, something I want you to note. Next one, please. So one of the things about EB-5 program, now, if anyone is not familiar with that, I would be very happy to get on a one-on-one call, give you the details, even educate you about EB-5. And but today I'll say this briefly, right? EB-5 really equals, it's a new investment. It's an investment in new commercial enterprise that creates jobs. That's in essence, nutshell, what EB-5 is. And New3 is aligned because it's an operational business with direct jobs, unlike most businesses, right? The part of EB-5 program is for you to secure permanent residency while contributing to the US economy. That's the intent of the law. And a high potential project that we are fully aligned with EB-5 requirements. Okay, next one, please. So now EB-5 is the fuel for scaling for us. And here is the difference. We did not sit and wait for EB-5 to begin building. We already built it out, right? We already have preferred debt, including founders' capital, our capital, heavily invested in this. So now EB-5 enables us for expansion, development of new locations once we remove our capital from it and replace it with EB-5. And this, of course, meets the demand for local employment, boosts local economy. Next one, please. Okay, so here, and why is this, most EB-5 projects ask you to invest before revenue, right? Like I said, we are a strong revenue stream, yes, but just about to open doors, right? Days away from opening doors, couple of weeks away from opening doors. So operational, near revenue, job safe. And one of the benefits for this, you see this on the slide, is urban strength. So urban projects, as you know, are high revenue projects. Sometimes people are attracted to rural projects. I will say this, there are some good rural projects, okay? Not all, few of them, but really rural projects suffer and they're given priority because, revenue is questionable, right? Sometimes when somebody is rural. But here we are urban, we are TEA, so you get the benefits of rural. It's the same priority time as rural projects, 800,000 instead of 1,050,000. So you have the TEA benefits, and that's a smart EB-5 project if you really think about. And priority processing, of course, being urban TEA, faster green card, stronger revenue streams because we have multiple income streams, 4 business units. Remember car wash, market cafe, EV charging, auto express, auto care, right? So guaranteed job creation, no risk of job shortfall. That's very important. Lower investment risk compared to 1,050,000, right? For an urban TEA, which is 800,000. So built-in demand because the urban project and long-term sustainability and high resale value. When we actually flip and sell this, if we need to, urban real estate, urban operating companies really sell faster. Next one, please.
Chuck,
So, yeah.
could you spend a little bit more time here to explain what is an urban plus TEA advantage means in this situation?
Sure, Raghu. Thanks for asking that and stopping me. I want to leave space for Q&A, right? Of course, but this important point, what you mentioned, most times people, rural has lower wait times, right? High priority in EB-5. So they tend to get attracted rural. But I would caution whether you end up with us or not, if you're doing EB-5, that's fine. But use this advice, okay, in evaluating any project. When you evaluate a rural project, typically the drawback is lower revenues. Why? Rural is thinly populated, right? That's why they want to boost rural. That's why rural is given priority because they want to boost the US economy in rural areas, right? That's the whole intent of it. Now, also, luckily for us, given equal weightage to rural, is an urban project which is in target employment area, what is called TEA. That is kind of rare. So we fall in that Goldilocks zone where we are urban and we are TEA, which gets you the equal prioritization to rural in EB-5 projects and also the lower investment money as rural does, which is 800,000 compared to 1,050,000. So we would say if you compare any rural project, even the best ones out there, with the urban TEA project, which we believe we are one of the best in urban TEA, hands down, an objective comparison would make EB-5 investors or should make EB-5 investors inclined towards an urban project, which is TEA, given all other things being equal, right? So Raghu, I hope that explains the rural versus urban TEA equality in terms of money, in terms of priority, but the advantage that urban has because of the higher population density and higher revenue people coming into your business.
Sure. And I may want to show another screen, probably that the audience might find it more relevant. So when you say urban and TEA, so we're primarily looking at the priority dates
Mhm.
and the extra quota that has been set aside for the high unemployment area. That is what the TEA refers to,
Yes.
which is what you're looking at. The final action dates is current, which means if you are able to get your I-526 approved, the 485 can be filed concurrently with your EAD and AP. That gets you pretty much green card in a much faster timeline.
Yeah,
Uh,
one
so,
small enhancement to what you said, Raghu.
sure.
At the beginning, at the filing of 526 itself, not waiting for it to be approved, you can apply concurrently because the dates are current for 485, which gives you the EAD and advanced parole, which gives you the ability to work in the US on this projects on your EB-5 investment EAD.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
So
Yeah.
526, 485 with advanced parole and EAD, all
Yes.
four applications can be applied at the same time.
Concurrently, yes.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Let me go
And
back.
Raghu, by the way, thanks for showing this visa bulletin because I think that actually summarizes that slide. And hopefully, touch wood, it'll remain like that for countries like India, especially, as many of you might be focused on that, right? From India,
Sure.
place of
Awesome.
birth.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so here we are, and we talked about the urban TEA is a sweet spot, 800K threshold, and these are the Vermilion letter stating this. By the way, this is the company that USCIS accepts. Their consultants and USCIS standard practice is to accept somebody like Vermilion. They're the top company in giving this certification, right? Also supports faster processing versus many categories. You saw that when Raghu pulled it up. So one more time, this is not a future build. It's a near-term launch within a couple of weeks, right? So urban TA equals smart EB-5 capital efficiency. You're buying time advantage plus execution advantage, ability to get more revenue advantage, right, in a project. That's what you're investing in. Next one, please. Okay, the holy grail. The most important topic in EB-5 is job creation. Right, this is what your EB-5 petition approval depends upon down the road. Your green card, first in the beginning, potential for job creation when 526, when 829, the stage for removal of conditions for temporary green card. If you know the process of EB-5, if you don't know, I'll explain that later, one-on-one even, no problem. So job creation is everything in EB-5, and job creation depends on the revenues that the business brings, right? So an operational business with direct W2 jobs, this is the safest job creation. Job counts matter because that impacts 829, removal of conditions viability, right? These aren't theoretical jobs. It's a payroll driven job creation because Nutris is committed to creating over 50 new jobs. I think we are underestimating. If you ask me personally, at the end, we might end up with 100 direct jobs, okay? Double that or even triple that. But let's be conservative. And the detailed plan in place, wheels are already in motion, and we meet and exceed EB-5 requirements with this kind of project. Next one, please. Okay, you see a split up here, direct jobs, indirect and induced jobs. This is modeled conservatively. The job cushion is very strong for this project. And operational model, because we're operational business, it's job safety. And total jobs are determined by what is called RIMS2 model. Okay, that's the economist model. And EB-5 qualified as jobs are shown clearly here. Raghu highlighted those numbers. And we are building cushion. We are not cutting it close in terms of what we are asking and how many jobs we have. As you know, there is 10 jobs needed to be created per EB-5 investor, right? So here we have 140 jobs. And in this round, our ask is for 7 investors, right? So next one, please.
I want to pause here
Yeah,
for a second. And
sure.
if you can explain, what does an indirect job mean? So, direct job, you are hiring a mechanic or a barista for running New 3S. What does an indirect job mean here?
Yes. And indirect and induced jobs are created as a consequent result, second order and third order results in economy, right? For example, if you pay people, if you have a business and you have employees, right? And you're paying people, they take that money, they spend in the grocery store, right? and they buy a new car, maybe a better car, maybe because of this differential in the income that they get. So economies have models. These are accepted models by USCIS, by the way, to expand on direct jobs, right? So most people, most businesses don't have direct jobs, except for the few direct jobs that come from construction and real estate projects, right? The labor, the construction labor, the project managers, this, that, all the things that they do in construction. Those are the only real jobs or direct jobs that most projects have in real estate. But an operational business needs to hire people continuously. So how do real estate projects do EB-5? They have direct jobs and they do these economy models, right? The expansion model and calculation models, which is accepted, by the way, in EB-5 by USCIS. In our case, we not only have that construction jobs, okay, we have direct jobs ongoing because it's an operational business, and we have indirect and induced jobs. So indirect induced jobs, to answer Raghu's question pointedly, are second order, third order consequent jobs created in the economy because of this business existing. That is how they're calculated in a nutshell.
Okay.
Does that answer it, Raghu?
So let me see if I got it right.
Okay.
There's a company and the company hires employees to work for them. And the company pays the employees. They have to go spend that money to have their lives. They are buying a car, they're living in an apartment, and their home breaks down and they need a plumber to fix it or they need a HVAC service. That is what the indirect job means is because of you paying somebody and they have to
Yes.
live in that area and the service providers for them creates more jobs.
Absolutely. And by the way, when they hire the plumber, they give money to plumber. Plumber goes and spends it somewhere else. Right. So it gets down and down, of course, becomes lower and lower, but all that modeling is done in RIMS2 modeling. That's what RIMS2 modeling is.
Okay, got
And
it.
they add those jobs and they recruit to EB-5 project, by the way, because of us, not only direct jobs, but what they spend, what those people spend that they spend on, and what those people spend, the second, third, fourth order consequences in the economy. This is what direct, and this is allowed in EB-5 to add that as EB-5 qualified jobs, provided it's done by proper economists with credibility that USCIS accepts. The modeling is proper and it's proven. We have all that in the economist report that we have generated, and that's what we'll be filing to USCIS. And this is what's accepted all the time in EB-5.
Okay.
Yep. So now this is a little bit about timeline of EB-5 steps. And you will see that very well. This is a high-level life cycle documents, petition, your conditional green card approval, then 829, which removes the conditions, and then conditions removed on your green card and capital return, right? We can, of course, go deeper in Q&A or one-on-one, but it's a well-structured, well-traversed process. That's what EB-5 is. And we manage it with discipline, all these steps, right? By being on top of it. Next one, please. Yeah. And you will see that same thing continuing. Okay, a little bit more detail. You can file I-526 right now because we already filed a 965 petition. You'll see the receipt in the next one. And but you need to file in by September 30th to lock in, to be grandfathered, regardless of what happens to the EB-5 program. Everybody that's coming in, under the Reform and Integrity Act of 2022, there's a lock-in protection until September 30, 2026, grandfathering. So you are safe. So that's why there's so much of rush in the marketplace right now for EB-5. We are seeing that there's a stampede about to come up. Attorneys will get busy. Projects will get busy. In fact, very soon, the demand is so high, the supply will be very low in EB-5. And forget about supply. Where do you get a supply of credible projects, right? Like this. So that's going to end very, very soon. So I would recommend you do your homework and get started with the process, even if you are brand new and just getting into the process, right? Next one. That's our 965 filing receipt. It was filed on October 9, 2025. And again, it's real jobs, real revenue, real residency. And that's the step-by-step roadmap under RIA, the Research and the Reform and Integrity Act that we gave. And yeah, that's the receipt notice. Yeah, that's big bucks, Raghu, to spend for projects just to file this 965, right?
So in order to, what does this application actually do? This gives the permission to you, asking USCIS that we are a regional center or we are a project that is asking you permission to qualify. so that the investors can file 526? Is that what this is about?
Yes, and it's more than that, Raghu. 965 petition is more than permission. It is asking for pre-approval as a project level, right? Once 956 is approved, which we expect to come in 4 months or so, by the way, you can file your 526. So 956 approval shows USCIS they don't have to study the project again and again for all the investors, right? So one time the project is studied, it's approved, okay, project looks good for EB-5 investment. Then what matters for your 526? What matters is your own source of funds, right? So it's your component that matters. So previously, before this 956 process, USCIS has to, for every investor, they have to open and again research the project independently as if it's a new one, right? For let's say we are asking for 7 investors. 7 times they have to do this along with investor petition 526. What 956 step does is abstracts that project side of things for USCIS at one time. So they can apply that principle. Oh, project is already cleared. It's ready. So they just focus on investor part of it for 526. So hope that explains, Raghu.
That's $47,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, that's only one of the steps. There are many more steps that we don't show here that requires project to pay lots of money to USCIS and in legal fees and documentation fees, hundreds of thousands literally to actually launch EB-5 project. Yeah. Okay. So we are now at the ownership structure. It's a very clean structure. Regional center that sponsors the project, new commercial enterprise, that's you see that enterprise where investors go in, which gives loans the money to job creating entity, JCE. NCE is new commercial enterprise, JCE is job creating entity. And that's where EB-5, the work is done. This is our business, right? These businesses that you saw, the market cafe, car wash, express auto care, and EV charging, 3 of them, the market cafe, car wash, and EV charging, come under our JCE1, New MW Jamaica. Our express auto care comes under JCE2. For historical purposes, this was structured as 2 JCEs, but they're part of the same business, New 3s, we call it together, okay? So your money goes into one of them. So when we ask for 7 investors, we can send 3 or 4 investors or 5 investors, 4 to 5 investors into this. That's 800,000 times 5, that's 4 million. If it's 4, it's 3.2 million, right? And that's 3 investors into this and show the jobs for both of them. And we do this division as we see fit. And this is only applicable at 829 stage when we show jobs to the USCIS, but we have discretion to send people into one or other JCEs, okay? Yeah, so use of funds. One of the first things I wanted to know about this money that we have spent so far, the 7.5 million or so, it is founders funded first story, okay? I wanted to know this. And preferred debt from our network. It's unlike many projects where if you ask the founding team, hey, how much of your money do you have in EB-5, right? Invested in this. Usually you'll be surprised. It will not be more than 1%, 2%. In our case, 80% is funded by founders and preferred debt, right? So, which is very interesting. That shows you the skin in the game. That's important. So these founders, us, the founding team, are not just, okay, let's raise EB-5 money, let's put just 1% of our capital in the business, right? It is where we put our funding. This 7.5 million that we spend between JCE1 and JCE2, is funded by us. So that's something. So our personal funds, we raised preferred debt to finish construction readiness. We did not wait for EB-5 to begin. That's the important part in this. And EB-5 capital we are raising is used to replace the capital already deployed in the project, right? That's the important part here. So a project which is funded, ready to open doors, finished, but because preferred debt capital is more expensive than EB-5 capital from project's perspective, from personal perspective is good for us. We are getting interest, right, on that, but it's not good for the project. So we want to replace with EB-5 money. That is what it is. So it is a project that's finished, founder funded, preferred debt funded, and that money is getting replaced by EB-5. That is why we don't have to wait for EB-5 money to start this project. That is why we are 3 weeks away from opening the doors in this business, right? So construction, equipment, working capital already funded and deployed. It's not empty ground financing. It is a capital replacement into operating asset. So use of funds, if you see this in the pro forma, same philosophy. build first, launch first philosophy. Okay, EB-5 is not the start; it's a refinance replacement inside the capital stack. That is why we are in near-term revenue, that not 5 years from now revenue, right? Like you see in many projects. So it's built, staffed, revenue ready, right? In a couple of weeks. So EB-5 joins a stack that's already a proven commitment. So it's already de-risked project because the founders funded it, preferred debt funded it, right? And you see multiple streams here: car wash, EV, market cafe. That's a real revenue engine, not a single bet on a single line of business, right? 4 lines of businesses here. So the revenue starts near term because site is opening. Diversified revenue is a shock absorption, right, into any project. And multiple cash registers, not one, 4 cash registers for us because 4 lines of business. Okay, next one, please. So this gives you the details of operating expenses, NOI. One number I want to mention from here, you know, in addition, in all these financial numbers you see is the close to $6.3 million of revenue, between JCE1 and JCE2, which is very important. So, and the net operating income of about 1.3 million first year itself, right? So the operational model support healthy NOI, net operating income. So just not profitability, but durability and job stability because of this kind of revenues, right? The goal is stable operations and stable jobs. That's the whole point of this, okay? And next, please. It's JCE2, the same thing with the other JCE, and auto care plus repairs. Oh, go back, please, Raghu, once.
Sure.
Auto care plus repairs for diagnostics, right? In JCE2, again, 3 things: diversify our revenue stream, adds repeat business, B2B potential to have accounts that we do auto care for, in this. Okay, same with Market Cafe, B2B potential for all the accounts that we have coming in, right? Adds repeat business, and so that is recurring demand. So you'll see that in this pro forma reflected. And we believe, by the way, we are extremely conservative once again. Our motto is, under promise and over deliver. That's what we have done while designing this project, asking for lower number of EB5 investors than what our job counts support. At the same time, projecting revenues very conservatively, projecting net operating income very conservatively, and projecting jobs very conservatively. Even with that numbers, we are good. This is a good project. Imagine when we exceed these numbers, right? So that's the most important point. You can go, Raghu, to the next one. Okay, that's our legal team for the project. Monasha and partners, their experienced legal team, their compliance forward structure, very, very diligent on compliance. And these are professionals who live and eat, breathe EB-5, right? Breathe and eat and live EB-5. And the example I always give is you want to go in EB-5 with a top tier attorney team. I describe this as going to, if you have heart surgery, open heart surgery, a general surgeon can do probably open heart surgery. But would you do that? No, you would go to a CT cardiothoracic surgeon, right? That's specialized in open heart surgeries. That is how we like to deal with shops, legal teams that are EB-5 only, or 90% EB-5. Not some people who do H1s a lot, F1s a lot, and then do EB-5 also as one of the things. That's very important in EB-5 business, in my opinion. That's my personal opinion. Okay, but this is our legal team. We would be happy to provide you an introduction for them to act as your attorneys for 526 also. But you do have a choice. But since these people know Monasha and Associates, they know our project inside out. They are our project attorneys for project documentation for USCIS. That added benefit is there, that there's information flow, that they doesn't have to go from one attorney office to another attorney office. But again, as a consumer, as the EB-5 investor, you have a choice to go with your attorney team. Okay, but this is our attorney team. So that's pretty much it. Just to repeat, Nutris is not a concept. Okay, it's not awaiting construction. That is done. It's not waiting on EB-5 funds to begin with. That is also done. Founders funded, preferred debt funded. It's built, funded, opening shortly. And that changes the EB-5 risk equation, compared to any other EB-5 projects. So I always say this: weeks to revenue, not years to hope. Okay, like in many, many projects that you see, there is execution certainty, job creation safety, and real operations in this business. That's another thing. Finally, the management team credibility with such $1 billion plus of cumulative exits, and execution, and also EB-5 prior experience in other EB-5 projects. Okay, so that's a bit of what I wanted to share. Wow, we're pretty good on time, Raghu. In finishing this today, I just wanted to be focused on this. By the way, please note this, take a picture of this slide. That's on WhatsApp or text even. That's your first point of contact. It directly goes to Mahavir Jain, our board member, on this call. And I want to introduce Mahavir Jain to you very quickly to say hello. And also Yukti Jain, who is our admin. This email address goes directly to Yukti Jain. Mahavir's email address is there. And we have general email. By the way, this is an important priority for us. This email, eb5@new3s.com, goes directly to all the board members in this business. So you're sure to reach people at the highest level in this business with this email address. And of course, you're sure to reach one of the board members, one of the 4 board members to the WhatsApp. And Yukti Jain would be our first point of contact. At this time, Raghu, if I can take a quick minute of introduction to Mahavir Jain and
Sure.
Yukti. Okay? And Mahavir, first, he's our board member, expert in pro forma building and financial modeling, and with 15 plus years expertise, and an amazing person, very patient. And you would love to interact with him when you meet him. And over to my friend Mahavir and co-board member.
Thank you, Chuck. I think it was a great session. And thank you, Raghu, for giving us this opportunity. So, as Chuck said, I'm one of the key members for this project. Been working for the last 2 years. Been involved in initial due diligence to make sure that this project really stands on its own, with or without EB-5 funding. So it has passed through the test. Of course, that's with that convictions, we went ahead and put in money into this project. And now we wanted to pass this benefit to friends who would be potentially joining us in this through their EB-5 association. And personally, I've been in this space for more than 15 years, done a number of non-tech, non-IT projects. This is one project which Chuck was giving an example of Bucky's in Texas. I think we are coining this project as neighborhood Bucky's. So we would be like a neighborhood Bucky's. And I think whenever you have an opportunity to come and visit us in New York, I will be happy to host you. With that, I think, Yukti, over to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Yukti. I am a part of the EB-5 New3S team. This is an amazing project, and we have a lot of progress here. And you can obviously go and see the project. It's live, going to be live soon, and everyone is amazing. So this is a great opportunity. Looking forward to connecting. My email ID is mentioned. Please reach out to me for anything. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So, Chuck, while we wait for the questions to come our way, and the audience, you have 2 different ways to ask the questions. One is you can type it in on the Q&A tab, and then I'll read out the questions. Either one of the project members can answer the question. Option 2, if you are brave enough, you can raise your hand. I'll give you access to just your microphone, not the video. So you can speak up to 3 of us, either Chuck, Mahavir, or Yukti, to ask your questions. So those are the 2 different ways. So we have the first question, Chuck. Within how many years will we get our returns back?
Yes, great question, by the way. Anonymous attendee says. So whoever asked this question, there is a sustainability period in EB-5 funds, right? That means EB-5 funds have to be invested and sustained in the project for a certain amount of time. What is that amount of time dependent upon? It depends upon your 526 approval for EB-5. And it also depends on afterwards your temporary green card coming, and then we apply for the removal of conditions on temporary green card. And when those conditions removed, your project has fulfilled what it's supposed to fulfill for job creation, right? We show the job creation in the last stage. By the way, in our case, right from day one, we have jobs. Even before day one, we have jobs already, right? Because we're already doing the test runs, dry runs, and everything for the opening, in gearing up for our opening of the launch of this business. So, and it's good estimate for an EB-5 investor. Even though there will be projects that will claim 2 years and 1 year, I've heard bizarre things, okay? Please keep in mind, no matter whether you go with us or not, this is an advice, okay? that your funds will be required to be sustained in a business as per EB-5 rules, taking all this timeline into account, for about 5 years or a little bit more than that. That should be your thinking. If you want a safety net, think 5 to 7 years. And don't fall for the marketing hype when some people say, oh, we'll give your money back in 2 years. It's impossible to say that because the timelines of EB-5, 526, 829. Yeah, for marketing purposes, people can claim anything, but you want the real answer. And even though people might not like it or it might be a shocker, 5 to 7 years is a sustainability time you can expect in any EB-5 project.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have another question from Bhupendra. Does this opportunity qualify for a project loan? Bhupendra, could you clarify your question? Are you meaning to ask, I do not have enough funds, I'm going to go get a loan and use it for the proof of funds? Or did you mean to ask something else? Please clarify your question. In the meantime, we have another question. Will you pay any interest for the amount of years invested? Will we get the full amount back, or will there be only a percentage returned?
Yes, great question. Who is that? Shrike T?
Shrike.
Shrik T. Okay. In our business, in this project, we will pay the EB-5 investors a simple interest calculated per annum of 1.5% on the investment. Okay, on the $800,000 investment. So it's about that comes to $12,000, right, per annum, and accrued and paid at the end of the term along with your full capital return. That means your return would be $800,000 when we finish the requirements. You get your green card, conditions are removed, and your sustenance period in the project is over. You get $800,000. Let's say 5 years. Okay, for example's sake, 12 times 5 is 60. So you'll get $860,000 back from the business. Okay, so hope that explains it.
Okay, question from Bhupendra. The question is clarified. So I want to know if I can get a loan to invest in the project.
Okay, from the project, he says, but in the project. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
Get a loan
Next
to
one.
invest from the project. Yeah.
Got it. So I did. Yeah. Next also. Yeah. If you don't have funds, Bhupendra, and you're still interested, what I would say is there are certain options. Okay, in EB-5, we don't generally recommend those options because you'll be required to make the full investment. Let's say somebody makes. There's something called partial filing. Okay, $400,000. They partially file. Yet your I-526 petition will only be adjudicated and approved after USCIS sees the full funds invested. So what scenarios would prompt people to do this, right? Partial investment. For instance, somebody has a land sale going on in India or somewhere. Okay, they know they're going to get the money and they're 3 months away from that. Logistics. So use partial funding if the project allows for it. Okay, I'll come to our take on that. Okay, project should allow, right? They should be able to accept partial funding. Why would they? When there's so much demand for EB-5 now, September 30th, this program ends, and there is a demand ramping up in EB-5. So what would projects do if somebody is wanting to only do partial filing, 400,000, somebody else wants to do 800,000 and full filing? Obviously, projects will give priority to the full filers, right? It's logical and rational. But with consideration and relationship, if somebody is serious and we know somebody has situation logistics temporarily, they're willing to entertain the thought, but it's a one-on-one conversation. So Bhupendra, if you want, please reach out to our team. We would love to we'll have a conversation with you and see if it's feasible or not, whether we would be accepting that or not. Okay, but there is possibility of partial filing. Should not be used frivolously. Should only be used when there is last mile problems, right? In transfer of funds, logistics, etc., etc. Should not be like, okay, I'm going to get funds in 3 years. I'm going to use partial filing. Please don't do that in this or anything else, because you are not going to get the benefits. You're locking in your money and don't know when the rest of the money is coming. The rest of the money has to come in for USCIS to approve your 526. So why do this? First of all, might as well not do this, right? But we don't want to discourage you. We want to know your situation. I think it's custom. It's individual to individual differences in situations. Talk to us. We will see if we can help you. If not, we'll advise you the best way, even if we are not fit for you. Okay, is this not a right fit for you?
Okay. So I think while we wait for the other questions, can somebody come and visit your team on site, say in New York, Jamaica? Are you allowing that?
Not only we allow that, Raghu, good question, we encourage that because we want to know our investors too, right? We want to build a relationship with them. Not only that, we want them to see the project and seeing something. See, PowerPoint presentations, decks can be looking awesome. Numbers can look great. Presenters can be very nice. I hope I am okay. Uh, Even if not, forget that. The project should live and grow on the facts and the strength of the project. One of the key things in the strength of the project, two key things. One is for you to get your own eyes on the location, just to feel it, right? How the project, because after all, you're going to be an investor in this project. So why would you not see the project? So we would highly encourage you to come down and see it. Second is the management team. We want you to know and reach forward to have that relationship with the management team. That's why we have two board members here, right, on this seminar. Usually employees do the webinars, maybe. But in our case, we decided this is a board level thing. That's the importance we pay to EB-5 investors. And most projects don't do it. You will not reach the highest level people, right? Generally speaking. And the attitude is different in EB-5. But we don't want to bring that kind of attitude to EB-5. We want to develop excellent relationship with the investors. So yes, please see us. Please come down. Please come down. Taste our coffee, eat our sandwich, okay, in our own market cafe. So you will see the product quality, you will see the staff, you will see the customer service, the process, the discipline, the look. And by the way, we would encourage you to go to some neighborhood places and see and compare it, and you will see. And go to some other EB-5 projects too, and just compare apples to apples, right? So yes, please come down. Yeah.
Okay. We have a question. If the conditions is not removed, can we get our total investment refunded?
By the way, the conditions will not be removed only under certain circumstances. Okay, I want to answer that deeper little bit. One minute to that, Raghu. Okay, if there is a illegal way of you acquiring your funds, means you have what is quote unquote called black money, and you are not able to prove, and somehow it passed the 526 test, and they discover later, right? They can of course rescind the green card. Second is if the project jobs are not created in the project, which is an impossibility in our case. So in 829 stage, your conditions removed is probably there is very low probability, right, of that happening. More importantly, at 526 stage, your petition not approved is a higher probability. Okay, earlier, not later. If that happens, unfortunate situation where your petition doesn't get approved. Again, there are two inputs into petition approval. One is on the project side, right? One is the investor source of fund side. Say we know we are clear on our side, right, the project side. Say something happens in your source of funds, it's not approved, even though the lawyer said, okay, your source of funds is good. Then yes, you're eligible to get your money back. But as with all EB-5 projects, it always says to the PPM, the ability of the project to pay back at that time. Remember, EB-5 money is taken, any investment is taken with a longer term view. If a business is taking your money, they want the money to be sustained for a few years, right? And we spend so much money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, to initiate EB-5 in this process, right? So obviously, like any business, we want sustenance for long term. But in an unfortunate situation where your particular case, 526 is denied, yes, 829 can be denied, but more probability is 526 stage, right? If something is denied and you need to get your money back, we will definitely work with you as the management team to do our best to give your money back. Okay. And again, there the credibility of the management team comes in, the revenues of the project come in, right? How strong is the project? Our ability to raise funds from outside sources, even if we have to quickly to return the EB-5 money. All these are plus factors in a case like ours in the business, Raghu.
Okay. Let's see if there are any other questions. Nothing yet. So while we wait for the questions, so if someone is here in the US and they are filing their EB-5, the first stage is they're going to file I-526. Since the priority date is current, if in case the category they are filing for, they'll file their 485 along with their EAD application and AP application. How long does it typically take? After they decided I'm going to do an EB-5 investment in new 3 years, from that point, to actually submitting the application? Have you had these conversations with an attorney to see what's the typical time it takes to get the paperwork ready? Because H-1B application, an attorney can file in 1 week time.
Yes.
So what's the timeline that somebody is looking at?
Yes, good question, Raghu. Great question, actually. And people need to know this. That's why it requires some planning, some thinking, being consistent on this, right? Being in touch with the management team. We are encouraging you to be in touch with us, having those conversations. Typically, when you have your source of funds ready, you know all the sources are lined up. It will take about 2-3 weeks if we work fast. But trust me, attorney offices are getting slower and getting more and more wait times, Raghu, right now. I've seen that in our own attorneys press, every other EB-5 attorneys we talk to, the good ones, by the way. Okay, the ones who are doing EB-5 on the side, their H1 specialty, they're doing just EB-5 as one more thing. No, if they're fully into H1B and all that stuff, that's their bread and butter, right? But teams, attorney teams, which are EB-5 specialized and specialized shops, they're worth their money, right? Obviously, because they're specialized in EB-5. Remember cardiac surgery, CT surgeon versus general surgeon. So those are getting long. So 2-3 weeks is typical time, but it depends on how fast you make that commitment. From there, expect 2-3 weeks to finish the source of funds. Expect 1 more week for logistics. Say you need transfer of funds from India, let's say. By the way, that's allowed. Our attorney team knows it very well, how to do that with RBI guidelines, right? There is a certain amount of money allowed per year. RBI says 250,000, right? Per year, per person. But your mom, dad, you, that's 3 people, that's 750,000, right? So there are ways. Attorney have ways for each Indian citizen. I'm just giving example of India. It can apply to anywhere, right? But India, there's Reserve Bank of India constraints. So our attorney team is very experienced working with the RBI regulations, making this happen. So logistics itself might take a week or so to finish that. So I would highly encourage people to start, make that decision, fix on the project, get your client attorney agreement signed so that you have commitment to the project as soon as you're ready. But because it's going to take a few weeks from that point in time, and it also depends on attorneys. Good attorneys will have wait lines, and those wait lines are increasing.
Okay,
that's the important point. Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned if your source of funds are ready, probably 3 weeks, 4 weeks time. What is a source of fund? For somebody who's new to this process, they do not know what that means. Could you spend a couple of minutes to explain what does it mean?
Sure. And again, mine is a non-attorney take on this, okay? Disclaimer. But your attorney will be able to explain source of funds process in detail because that's what they do. Ultimately, it's not me doing source of funds, right? Other than advising you generally as a project person, project owner, I can only give general information on source of funds. It's an attorney discussion. But for whatever it's worth, source of funds is SOF, meaning USCIS wants, kosher, clean money. Okay. So illegal activities, money obtained from gambling, illegal activities, mafia activities. Hope nobody's that. Okay. Those doesn't qualify. In other words, what they call black money in India doesn't qualify for source of funds, right? And USCIS knows all this stuff. They know Hawala concept. They know black money concept. So you can't dupe them. Okay. And you should not. We have to be in accordance with law, right? So source of funds in EB-5 is the documentation that shows where the money trail is coming from. And USCIS requires that. Say you got your money from taking a loan on 401k account, which is allowed, by the way, for EB-5. Okay, or your home mortgage, you took home equity loan to fund your EB-5. Okay, you have a home. And so the document how you applied for that and how the bank gave you, so that's good enough, the loan documents, because then they show, oh, this money came from the bank. Let's say you're funding with your savings, and these savings are accumulated over the last 10 years, and you put your money in Meta stock or Alphabet stock, okay, Google stock, and your stock appreciated. So obviously you have that, right? It's earned money by you. You pay tax on it. Your W-2s to prove when you invested that. Okay, your tax filings at that time that you showed the money went in. So in other words, it's by the way, money can be earned in US. That's allowed. It can be earned in India. Okay, properties in India. Money can be loaned to you by friends and family. friends also, can be gifted to you. Our attorneys know how to arrange all that, those letters, those notes, those loan notes, note letters. So all these are documentation that goes towards source of funds. So source of funds is that one step behind documentation in how that money came to. For example, you sold property in India. Okay. That property sale deeds. Okay. Or you took a loan in India. That loan documents. Those are source of funds. In other words, it's a documentation to show that your money is clean, kosher, not black money, not obtained from illegal sources. That's what USCIS want to see. And we have our attorney go through source of funds. If our attorney team feels source of funds is not good, we don't want to take your money because we know your 526 is going to be denied. Then you'll ask us the money. Anyway, we have to give you the money. We would rather not take this money from you if there's a question mark about source of funds and take money from someone else who has source of funds cleaner, because we want sustenance in this project like any project would do, right? So we would avoid you that pain of your 526 not going through because of source of funds and we are having to return the money, as somebody asked that question in the beginning, right? Yes, we'll give you the money back to the best as the project can afford, but why not be upfront and not take the money at all from someone whose source of funds might not go through?
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Awesome. Question from Sarath. Must the 800K investment be made when EB-5 application is submitted?
Yes. When 526 petition is filed, remember this partial filing, except in those very rare cases of partial filing, the entire amount of money has to be in the project, wired into the project, deployed, which we can do instantly, right? Because we already deployed the money. We are doing capital stack balancing, right, with this money. So in our project, we are not just having it at the bank and waiting for deployment. We already spent this money, right? We are replacing with EB-5 capital in the capital stack. So it's instantaneous, our deployment in the capital in the project. So you wire the money the day today, next day it will be deployed, right, into the project. So that's how fast it is with new threes. Number one. Number two is, to go back to your question, is yes, for 526 petition, at the filing time, we need to certify, the project has to certify that yes, we have received the funds, they're in the project. That documentation will go with your 526 application. The only exception to this is partial filing. Even then we have to certify that we have partially accepted the money and the other monies are coming in very soon. We have to give a timeline in our certification because your logistics might not permit you to fully invest. And we are happy to do that, discuss those things individually with you. If there is a extenuating circumstances that require you to do partial filing, which we don't recommend, but if you have to, you have to, right? You have no choice. But short answer, yes. 526 time, 800,000 has to be in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the attendees, I think some of you joined recently, in the past few minutes. The replay of this full session is also posted. I just posted a link on the chat where you should be able to go and watch the full replay of this entire session. We started exactly an hour ago, and for some of you who came in late, the replay link is also shared. I have another question. How can I get more details about the project, like jobs created per investor, details about the capital return process? So let me share the contact information again. We actually went through the whole job creation and the capital process earlier in this presentation. But for those of you who joined a little bit later, the replay link is posted and the contact information, I'm going to share it right now. You'll be able to get directly in touch with the project team.
Yes. And Raghu, while you're saying that, I will just reiterate a operational project few weeks away from opening with $6.3 million revenue, $1.3 million of net operating income first year itself, right? High expertise management team, which has cumulative experience of close to $1 billion in execution so far, right? All of us on the board together, and a management team that has high credibility. And this project is funded with our own founders' money and the preferred debt money, $7.5 million already. Unlike most EB-5 projects, which has only 1% of founders' money, right, into the project, ours is like 90% of it, right? Founders' money, which is very interesting because that shows skin in the game in this project. And project which welcomes you to visit the location, eat in our market cafe, okay? See the business yourself. Very important. Prime location, New York. Urban TEA advantage, right? It's urban project with TEA. So all these are, and plus a management team that encourages you, connects you to the highest level, the board members, and takes EB-5 and just not dedicated to employees. And even this presentation, we have a couple of board members here, along with our excellent admin here, Yukti Jain. So these are some of the things. So I would highly encourage you to have the one-on-one conversations, like Raghu said. Reach out to us on WhatsApp, reach out to us on email, and definitely continue the conversation. Last thing is, the more number of times you attend, if you see this webinar, even if you have attended one live, it's good to reinforce that, because you don't know when something might click for somebody and they get answers and they get reinforcement, right? Every time they see this, their clarity is increasing. So don't think it's repeat information. Even if you have seen it on YouTube, attend a live webinar. If you're watching this recording, right, on YouTube link or something, just look at the information below, reach out and register for the next webinar that we have. So that's what I would say.
And we plan to do another live one, I believe, next Saturday as well.
Yes,
I think
next
there's one
Saturday.
more question, Raghu. I think from Karthik, you would have seen.
Yeah. Karthik is asking, are there any other fees on top of 800K investment amount?
Great question. Thank you for asking, Karthik. Yes, there are. 800K, not a single dollar of this money can be touched for anything else. It all has to go into the project. Every dollar to the bid. If it's $799,000 and $999 into the project, it won't work. They'll deny your EB-5, right? So all 800 has to go in there, clean. But there is a $80,000 admin fee. Good projects will always have that. Because why? That's because to recoup our money, the hundreds of thousands of dollars we spend in the documentation, attorney fees, getting our project ready for EB-5. In addition to that, there'll be your attorney fees. But when you have a conversation with us, I can give you a rough number on all these things. So fully expect that $800,000 goes to project. There'll be an admin fee in the project, and there'll be your attorney fee. But attorney fee is payable in tranches, means each step, most of it is upfront, let's say 20, 25,000 upfront, and approximately the rest of the money, 10,000 or 15,000 more, would be in tranches over the next 5 years, right? As each steps get fulfilled. And remember, there's a USCIS filing fee. Luckily, they reduced it, by the way, recently. Do you know, Raghu, from $12,000 or something, they reduced it to $3,000. They had $12,000 filing, USCIS filing fee. So that is also a little bit reduced. Recently, there was a court case, I think, that court told USCIS to go back to the old fees. So your fee, by the way, we have our fee too. You saw the 965F document, the $40,000 there or whatever it shows. That's only a part of the story, by the way. So our project pays heavy fees. 965F paper. Yeah, you see that? Raghu highlighted that, the 47,695. Yes, that's one example of the fee we paid to USCIS. Luckily, you don't have to pay $47,000 fees, okay? So that's why now you know why admin fee. Admin fee is not our profit center, just to let you know. Projects don't make money on admin fee, good ones at least. But they try to buffer the lots of money, hundreds of thousands they spend in making a project EB-5 ready. And that's what admin fee is used for. So yes, project money 800,000, admin fee 80,000, and your attorney fee. But talk to us, we'll give you the full details in one-on-one conversations.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Chuck, Mahavir, and Yukti, I think, is there another question? When does the repayment start?
Yes, great question. Our repayment is at the end of the term of your sustenance in the EB-5, EB-5 money sustenance in the business. That's where our repayment starts, which is, let's say, the 5 years or 7 years, whatever the sustenance period is, we are going to pay the money and the interest. So please keep in mind, we don't pay interest every month or every quarter. Why? Because we want to reinvest every bit into our operations in this business. Right? You would rather secure your capital long term. Your capital is more secure relatively, right? There's always risk in the capital. Risk at risk is condition of EB-5, but your capital is more secure when a business shows the intent for your money to go in, and they show intent to continuously invest in the business. So in fact, we also made a management team decision. We want to be one. I don't know if you read this book, Leaders Eat Last, okay, by Simon Sinek. And that's a good management book, actually. So in our business too, our management team, our dividends are at the very end. We decided first to reinvest and put everything of our money into the business. Okay?
Okay, got it. And I think the last question, what's the interest percentage?
Yes, 1.5% per annum, simple interest, accrued and paid at the end of it. For example, on $800,000, it's $12,000 per annum interest. Let's say 5 years of sustenance period. It takes you 5 years. So that's 5 times 12,000 is 60,000. So 860,000 to you, given to you at the end of the 5-year term. So capital plus interest is returned at the end of the term of sustenance.
All right. Thank you. So thank you everyone for attending this live session. And the replay is posted on YouTube as well as on EB-5 Facebook group and as well as in the F1 H&B Visa Happy Schools Facebook group. We are going to be hosting another live session and hopefully we'll have KK or even Upain, the other board members on that live meeting. And in meantime, if you have any additional questions about this project, please join us. If you are attending this session live, then that means you will get an email to register for the next event. If you are just watching us on other platforms, go to EB-5 Facebook group. The upcoming webinar link will also be posted over there, as well as on Happy Schools email list and the Happy Schools F1 H&B Visa Facebook group. So those are the places where you'll get access to joining the upcoming webinar. Thank you,
And
Chuck.
Raghu, I want to thank you for providing the platform. I know we have a long relationship for many years. I know you don't have anybody come on your platform random willy-nilly, and only for the project that you believe in and you understand. So we really appreciate on behalf of this management team and every one of us, we appreciate you having us on this platform, on this webinar. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Fantastic. Thank you, Chuck. Thank
Thank
you,
you, Raghu.
Mahavir, and thank you, Yukti. Enjoy your weekends. We'll catch up on the next webinar. See
Thank
you
you,
all,
Raghu.
everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
See you all. Bye.
I'm going to wait for the stream to give it a few more seconds. It's still going through. Okay, let's end the stream. I'll text you, Chuck and